Nathan, we have a big boy truck behind us.
That's right. Ford flew us out to West Virginia to test drive their brand new Ford F-250 Super Duty.
We've got the 2015 with the 6.7 Power Stroke, and we're going to review it coming up next
On the Fast Lane Truck. It's a diesel, you don't get a lot of beef, but I'm willing to bet that you're going to be able to hear a lot more from the front than the back. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the 6.7 liter Power Stroke engine. That is one of the most powerful in its class. It puts out 440 horsepower and 860 pound-feet of torque. It has an all-new turbocharger, and it is highly revised. The transmission is a 6-speed, and in this particular case, it is a 4-wheel drive.
Nathan, you feel like a big boy driving this bad boy?
Got my big boy britches on. This feels bigger than the Raptor.
Well, it should. It starts at $54,510, which is probably right about where a Ford Platinum Light Duty F-150 ends. So this is where it starts. And this one that we're driving, $68,000, dude. Of course, we've got a 3.55 electronic locking axle.
Yep.
Platinum package, FX4 off-road package, engine block heater, which is nice with the diesel. Fifth wheel hitch prep package. Basically, you can stick a gooseneck mini hitch on the back there.
Yeah, like really, really fast too. It's got rubber grommets, so you just pop out and then you pop it right in.
Yeah, it's really a thoughtful feature.
Look at the size of that emblem. I mean, that's even too big for Mr. Truck's belt buckle. So what you're looking at here is a slightly revised, slightly more macho Ford Super Duty. And frankly, simply put, you're not going to mistake it for anything else. It doesn't look like a Chevy, and it sure as hell doesn't look like a Ram.
Power moonroof, upshifter switches, dual alternators, tough spraying bed liner, and of course, check this out, man, heated rear seats.
Heated rear seats?
Yes.
Ooh.
People in the back are going to be living large.
I wish our Raptor had that. Ooh, that'd be cool.
All right, so how does it drive?
It's a beast, all right? But it is extremely quiet, very smooth. You can hear the diesel a little bit, but it's not obtrusive. You know, I mean, do you hear much?
No.
I mean, it's really very Cadillac-like riding. It's easy to turn. I would say that between all the trucks that I've driven of this size, this is probably one of the more comfortable ones.
Yeah, and we do have about 1,000 pounds in the payload in the back of mats, which is actually a smart thing because they don't move around.
That's right, and on top of that, when you have payload, these vehicles are built for it, so that way it's not chattering. If you drive one of these, you know, dry with no weight in the back, it's going to bounce around a bit because the way the springs are configured, they need a load in order to run real smooth. Here we go. It's a man's truck, heavy tailgate, and now look at that neat little option of what I call the grandma assist, but you know what? I got to be honest with you, it's actually very, very handy. Back here, they put 1,000 pounds worth of mat to make sure that we felt what this full load capacity is, and this isn't even its full capacity.
You know, I'm still amazed at how high you are and how tall you sit. This really does feel like a big boy truck.
They should call it the John Wayne.
This is, yes.
Tall in the saddle, partner.
But look at that. If you had a John Wayne style hat with this sunroof, you wouldn't fit, man.
Yeah,
Kent wouldn't be happy in his cowboy hat.
Mr. Truck would be angry and start throwing things.
How would the brakes feel?
You know, I've been modulating them a little bit, and
Yeah.
they feel about the same as they do on an F-150. That's not a put down. It's actually a compliment, because they feel like they're very easy to grab the truck and slow it down. Haven't felt any fade on this little road trip, and so far they've been absolutely easy to figure out. You know, no, they're not wooden at all. That's for sure.
And let's face it, we're big boys.
Yeah.
And yeah, and these seats are comfy. If you like the old Ford Super Duty interiors, you're gonna love this one. If you didn't like them, well, you're not gonna like this one. It's basically an evolution and not a revolution in the interior. There are hard, relatively cheap plastics. This elephant skin stuff has been around a long time. There's a wood applique, of course. There's a lot of chrome. There's a lot of big, bold buttons. Sync is here. This is a $68,000 Super Duty truck. So it's the top of the line Platinum Edition. And for that, you get leather, you get a big, bold sunroof, and you get a lot of horsepower in the engine. And really, that's what it's about at the end of the day. Yeah.
I'm still not pleased with the interior design. I still think that Chevy and Ram are both superior in terms of design. I mean, there's a lot of cheap plastics in here, but with the seats being so comfortable and the interior being so quiet, I can overlook a lot of that.
Yeah, there are some thoughtful features. It's got the integrated brake controller, a right-hand kind of operation. I know that that's a big deal for a lot of people because they like having it on the right side versus the Chevys on the left.
Yeah, it sits a little low though, so it's not too far away from where you put your cup of coffee, so you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, it will block. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be blocked by like this water bottle.
Yep.
It's a good point. A lot of auxiliary power outlets. We've got 12 volt. We've got AC 110 right there. And
auxiliary switches left and right, which is really nice to have all of these things. There's 4 of them right here. And you know, toggle switches are awesome in trucks. They really are, and it's really nice to have those in there as standard.
Yeah, especially if you want to add something like a winch to it or auxiliary lights. You know, there's a lot of other things you can put on this truck.
Especially for a tow vehicle, and that's exactly what this is.
Now, of course, people may be curious about MPG, but unfortunately, EP doesn't rate them, and the manufacturers don't go out of their way. Ford did say it's got a new Power Stroke 20% better than the previous one. What that means in real-world driving, we'll have to take it to Colorado and actually do a real towing test to find out.
I mean, it says right here, just what it says right here is 15.3 miles per gallon. But, I mean, we haven't been driving more than a few miles, so we really don't know what the actual average is. Now, folks, we know that it's really important to you to know what these things can tow and how they tow. It's important to us, too. So, here's the good news. In another video, we're going to be testing the Ford F350 against the equivalent Chevy and Ram. That'll be awesome. In this particular case, we can at least tell you that the 250, well, it drives really nice, but we don't have a lot of time with it. So soon, we'll get one of these and take it up the Ike Gauntlet.
How's the power, Ford? Up the hill.
Yeah.
That 6-speed seems pretty lively.
Yeah, the 6-speed is just really smooth. It shifts beautifully. Reminds me of the one that's in the Chevy, which is a really good one. You're going downhill in tow haul mode. You just tap the button for tow haul, and then whenever you tap the brakes, it'll downshift, and it works beautifully.
This is a big truck. It's wide, it's big, it's roomy, and I gotta tell you, there's nothing better for a long road trip than a pickup truck. You sit up high. You've got a nice sunroof here. I'm not sure about the back seat room, though. What's that like, Nathan?
It's pretty good. I mean, look, this is a truck, but it feels like a limo in the back. Now, here's an important thing. This is a very quiet truck while it drives. And in the back, at least for me, my tush is very comfortable.
Yeah, listen to this. We're going to start it up.
It started just a little ba-da-da. It's the only thing you can hear.
Yeah, remember the days when diesels were loud and clanky?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like that at all.
No, it's actually much more quiet than that bus they took us in.
I know. I mean, this is a very, very quiet vehicle, and they've done a lot of tuning specifically just for sound.
You know, one of my personal favorite things about Fords is that, well, let's face it, these guys own the market when it comes to the F-150, best-selling vehicle, period, in America. And Ford will tell you that in this kind of tradesman truck, which, you know, the Platinum Edition probably isn't quite a tradesman truck, but a truck used by people to do their job, they own about 45% of the market. So, you know, they have done a lot of studying, they have done a lot of looking at the competitors, and we've got a vehicle matchup, not a mashup, a matchup in another video where we actually get to use the 350 version of this and tow some trailers and see how it compares to the Chevy and the Ram.
That will be awesome, guaranteed. Awesome.
Nathan, on the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, what do you give it?
I give it a, wait a minute, we need to actually get this thing up to Colorado before we can give it that.
Yeah, we got to compare it to the Ram and, of course, the Chevy to see what it's really made of. As always, this is Roman and
Nathan.
Saying thanks for watching, and check out TFLtruck.com for more news, views,
and real world reviews.
Ciao.
Howdy folks, Nathan Adler here with the Fast Lane Truck, and we have something very special for you. We have the brand new Chevy Duramax 3500, the brand new Ram Heavy Duty 3500, and the very, very brand new Ford F350 Super Duty.
What are we pulling, Nathan?
We're pulling 12,000 pounds of trailer, RV, behind each one.
What's coming up next?
Coming up next on the Fast Lane Truck, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison.